It is well known, the Mishnah on Avos, that says that Avram Avinu had 10 tests. Most people think that the 10th and final test was in last week's Parsha, Akedat Yitzchak. However, the Gemara in Baba Basra, also Rabbi Yonah on Avos, says that actually the story at the beginning of our Sedra of Kvurat Sarah is actually a test for Avram Avinu. And if you read the Psukim inside, one of the themes possibly of this test could be the contrast or the tremendous challenge that we had, that Avram Avinu had as a leader, and at the same time of his commitment as a husband and as a father, as we saw from last week's parsha. If you read the Psukim, right after telling us that Sarah died, V'tamas Sarah b'kirat arba yichevra meretz Canaan, Vayavo Avraham lispol Sarah v'livkota. The Mefarshim asking where's Avram coming from, but it says first he eulogized her, and only then he's crying. The next pasuk, Vayakom Avraham me'al pnei mito vayidaber al bnei chet lemor. He gets up in a certain erect position, me'al pnei mito, al pnei mito, from the mate in the zachar. It should be, he's talking about he's getting up from his wife who just passed away, meita. The Mefarshim asked that. And deal that the body may be in the masculine. I believe that possibly one of the tests is this tremendous transition, or this hard transition and challenge that we have in leadership, where on one level we're a public figure, and therefore explains the Netziv Mivolazhin. Why does it say Vayavo Avram lispol Sarah v'livkota? Normally people cry the derech haolam is to cry first. But because he came from a couple days journey, according to some of the Mefarshim, the people heard that Sarah the Rebbetzin was in Difteres, she died, everyone gathered together. So instead of Avram taking care of his own personal needs, of crying, he had to eulogize and deal with the tzibur that gathered around. The Torah emphasizes Vayakam Avram me'al pnei meito. One could say it's his own death, not the actual physical body. He just lost his wife, the person at the nefesh asher asu v'charan, according to Chazal, his partner in crime, quote unquote, his partner of all achnasat orchim. What a tragedy for him. A beautiful wife, but he lost part of himself. To the point that one of my Talmidim pointed out to me, this is the first time after a death, it says there's crying. There's eulogy. Do we understand the tremendous anguish that Avram Avinu must have been in? But still, it's Vayakom. He has to get up. The tremendous test that he, not only as an individual, but as a Nisi Elokim, Habnei Chetzim. It's not just, oh my goodness, you must be having a tough time as a personal individual. But you are a leader, as the Netziv explains, a leader in the diplomacy, but also a leader in religion. And therefore there's a tremendous challenge that Avram Avinu has. On one level, to make sure that you're a family man, to make sure that you have to take care of your family. And at the same time, to find that right balance, to understand, even in the most difficult times, what did you have to do? You have to make sure that the kever of avot, and make sure that you're thinking how you talk, dealing with the real estate negotiations with the Bnei Chet. This is the theme also, right at the beginning of the Shidduch scene. Perach Hakotel, Pasuk Aleph, Avram Zakim, Baba Yamim Vashem Mirachet Avram Bakol. Why is that the introduction? Asked the Netziv again in the Hamak Davar. And he explains, because we're baffled. Avram Avinu is the bastion of Zrizut, of Chesed, Vayimaher, Vayaratz, Vayachavot Shel Chamaro. He does it all himself. But the most important idea of Yitzchak and marrying off his son is a continuation of Hemshech. Kivi Yitzchak Yikarei L'Chazara. He sends Eved Avraham to do this. Why not do it himself? Explains the Netziv, Avram Zakein Baba Yamim. He's older. And therefore he's afraid. He didn't have first class tickets at that point. He's afraid that just being on a plane would cause him to expedite his death. But the second shot, Hashem Beirachet Avram Bakol. Avram was the leader. He was the Gadol Hador. He didn't have the shoot SMS. He didn't be able, there was no WhatsApps. They needed him for all the questions of Emunah. The tremendous sacrifice that happens, and to try to find that balance is a question not only at the time of Avram Avinu, but it's the time right now when we're mechanech everybody to get involved and be osik b'tzarchi tzibor. All of those values are true and emes v'Hashem mirach davram bakol. But finding the right balance to make sure that you're a good husband, a good father, that's just as important. And to know that there's that struggle, that's already 60% of the battle. To know that, to be able to say, I have to be at home in the morning helping my children, helping my wife, 100%. But doesn't mean that I don't go to minyan. Of course I have to go to minyan. You have to get up earlier. That's just the way life works. So Mirz Hashem, we should continue learning from Masa Avod Siman Labanim, being able to understand these conflicts that we have, to be able to spend quality family time, and at the same time make a difference in Medinat Israel and Eretz Israel and our communities. Shabbat Shalom.